Hello everyone, I will be working in flowers. I want to finish a couple of them, and also I will fix the problem that I have this stream in the morning. Sorry for the delay, because I didn't have enough time this morning to do my daily streaming, so I'm doing in the afternoon also, so we have more time to do a few things. So I was working on flowers, and I was just introducing this variation about the color from two different maps textures that I was using on the shader, but I really don't like much, so I will just keep this one, the red one, as it is without any variation, and I will add maybe for the future a few variations for that. So what I'm doing right now is probably using some kind of switch to define if it is using any variation or is it just default value. So for that, right now I will just keep this one because this is for the variation and everything that I'm using. I will just really keep this one as it is, so this one is not being in use at all, but I will just keep this one because I'm probably will use later. I'm planning to use those variations, so in that case this is not being in use at all and should be just using the red one that I have. So for some flowers I would like to have few variations, but for some of them I would like to have only one color, one value, and not any variation, because for example for this red one I would like to put them close to the roads or just tracks, trails and things like that. So it's just good to have all the red one. I don't want to have a few colors. Maybe for the kind of different flowers I could have few more variations about colors. I can just even use some multiply about colors, things like that, but for this one I want to have all the red, so that's why I'm using all the red in that case. But I will create another one for, I was using this one and also I was using this as a second variation, but it's not really good. So okay, so this one, this is my shader without any variation, but I'm keeping here the code for the future because I think I will reuse the same shader for a few of them, because I want to keep all of them together with in the same cluster for foliage, so instance, and using the same shader and all of them being together, even being different colors, but having all of them all together and not having 3 different flowers for just changing maybe the color but the same mesh. So it means makes sense to have all of them in the same shader and just change a few textures for exactly the same mesh, and all of them will be together in the same profile. So that's why I'm planning to reuse the future the same shader for a few variations of the flowers, but right now it's only one. So what I want to do is a new flower that I have here, and let me see, is this this one. So I will just create on Blender a picture. I will put this picture as a background, so let me delete this one. We don't need this. Start display. What I want to have is just background picture, and this one I want to have picture models textures the flower, and I will just do just the profile of this one. Let me see, flowers here. This is the one that I want to have as background for some reason. Okay, this is fine. This is the one that I would like to use, but let me see, because I think that I was just probably I was just keeping the background white one, and I don't want to keep this one, so I will just remove it in a moment. Exactly, so that's the thing that I need to remove all of this. Okay. So let's save this one. Not this, sorry. Cancel. I'm going to use DJ. This one. Yes. Okay. So that's the picture I will want to use. Let's go again. Textures, environment, and flowers. So it's not reloading for some reason. Okay, let me try to something new. Okay, let's start again. A new picture, background, and then image, textures, environment, flowers. Okay, for some reason I'm just having this one for, I don't know, I'm not sure about this, why I have this one. Let me see here if it is just, yeah, the background is just taking the background for some reason. Delete, yes. Let me try again. Okay, so that's the background. I think I'll just save as PNG, or why not? Flowers, this alpha channel, yes, and then it's 32, yes. I will just save also as PNG just in case with transparency. So this is something like that, just to be sure that this is the one that we need. So let's try again. I don't know, this is just keeping the background for some reason. Should be not like that, but I will use this PNG, and this one should work with having just the background. So I will use exactly the same for here. I will use the PNG which is not having any background. So let's start with this one. Just playing, and what I'm doing right now, the image is so big, so it should be really much smaller. Even like that is probably too big. This needs to be, this is 1 meter, and probably half of this could be probably too much. So we'll try to do something like that. And in that case I need to use something smaller. So what I'm just removing is just the dots. So I will just dots and then take this one, moving, and we can start doing that. So what I do is just extrude and then just duplicate in this one to be just creating something like that. Something fast. Probably, I'm not sure, probably I will just simplify a bit this because it's maybe too much. What I'm trying to do is just reduce the number of well, I'm adding more definition about the geometry instead of keeping all of them together, because in that case we are repainting a lot of pixels for our shader. So that's why I prefer to have all of them duplicated. More geometry, because it's not a big problem about number of trees, but this is a problem painting all the time the same. So let's try something fast like that. Not much really, but something like that we can improve later. And then we will just close this one. Probably we need to improve a bit. Well, this area is quite big, so let's just duplicate here a few more vertices, so we can just have some kind of more resolution on it, and then just cutting down a bit. So divide, and then we can avoid repainting a lot of space that is really not needed. So let's add a few more geometry, more vertices, so should be working fine. And we can just dissolve this one. So that case is not a lot. I think we could even reduce here, because on the bottom is not a big problem. So probably we can just dissolve this one. Is not very critical for that reason, because we will have grass here, so this is fine. But the thing is, here on the top I don't want to repaint a lot of them, so I will just duplicate more here to have more definition just on the top. Oops. It could be much more critical just repainting a lot of empty pixels that they are repainted many times. So that's why reducing this one could be good, and also probably here just adding a few more triangles is not really critical, but having a lot of pixels that we are repainting is really much more expensive. So that's why I'm trying to do more details on the surface instead of just leaving it for less triangles. So that's why I add a lot of geometry definition to avoid this one and this one. We don't need this, so probably remove this one. And I think this is the last one that we are doing here. Just things like that, which will reduce a lot of pixels to paint, especially on the top. This is fine. I would like also cut down this one, which is probably what is fine. So let's see what is happening with that. How much do we have? 34, which is not really a lot, so we could keep this one, I think, but this is fine. We can keep this one at the moment, and let's try to do this PNG, and we need to adjust this one. I'm planning to have more flowers here in this space, not really reusing this texture for all the small things, no. But at the moment just doing this one because probably this one will just move, rotate, or things like that. So let's just ungraph from view, okay, and then scale to be matching this one. So this is too much, something like that. This is fine, this is fine. So this is already, the UV is fine. What we need to do now is just locating this one on the origin. So for that reason what I'm doing is just duplicate this one and keep this one, because in the future I can just modify and it's just easy to duplicate this one. Hide this, and this is the picture for I think this is just okay. Is, and what we are doing is having this one need to be okay. Let me see. Okay, rotate from X 90, and now we need to oops if this is one, we'll just okay, rotate X at 80. We'll just move into this one. And we need to be sure that also that we are in the middle for we need to be sure also here that 3, this is fine, this is also fine, and this is fine. So yeah, so this is our kind of flower here, and what we need to do is just export FBX. Flowers, what do I have? This one. Okay, I will create a new one. And what I need to do is just export the which is selected, only this one, not the other one that I'm using, just as a reference. So let me save also here. Okay, this Blender file. So we will just import here. So where is my FBX? Wait, I think that I have already here. Yes. Fail. What's the problem? Yes, to see me. This is the FBX and it will import here. What we don't want to do is not collision, because we are not having collision. Yes, that's fine. Okay, import. And now we don't have this texture, so for that I'm using this one, which is just facing camera all the time, the texture, but I'm just instant in this one. So I will just create an instance and it will be material turquoise. Okay, and for that I will be using, this is my base color, because I'm not using, for example, normal, just to avoid reusing much more. So flowers, the flowers should be here. That's fine. Okay, so it's just an instant from this one, and let me check if this one is working as expected. Okay, so this is my material, and okay, one of the problems that I have is just about the orientation of the camera. So in that case, for example, here I need to have this, and then it's just rotating from zeta 90 degrees, and now it's fine. Just export again, just to have the same orientation for all of them. I don't really need to create new shader for this one, so in that case it's just reloading, re-import, and should be fine. Okay, so we have already here, we can see that it's just pointing to the camera all the time. It's about the shader that is doing that. And what I'm missing also is vertex painting. Instead I have this, so what I need to do is just vertex paint for this one, because it's just what I'm doing is completely white, but the only part that I'm doing black is just painting black this one, so this one is not rotating with the wind, and the rest is fine. So this is just all, and export again, export, and then I will do this import again, so re-import. In that case, if we are doing this real time, we can see that both vertices are not moving, and I've seen that I was just painting one, but I didn't want to have this painting. So let me see, it was a mistake, so it needs to be white here. Only the balls in the bottom are the only one that I would have those as black. So this is the one, and then re-import, so we're not fine. Okay, no, what's happening with this one? Should be, let me see, vertex paint, this is white, okay, and then just export FPS, and then re-import this FX. So I should have those. I'm not sure why this one is just up. Okay, let's just delete this one. Delete and reload again. Sometimes it happens that I don't know why, but it's not re-import working well, so that's why I just do that. Okay. Okay, as expected, now we have only moving, both of them are not moving using this vertex paint, but the rest of them are just moving. So that's why even we could use, like for example, this one not moving too much, so I will just can do that by painting for some kind of middle color. So let's say we have this one, some color that is not really black or white, so it should be slightly moving but not completely moving. Let me see how it works, because I'm not sure that this is working well. So re-import, and yeah, it's kind of, but this is moving too much. Okay, it's fine. Let's re-import again, because I'm not completely sure that it's working well when re-import with those vertex paint. So let me see, and then this is the one that we need. Okay, anyway, it's just okay, seems fine. Let's just paint something with this one. So this is fine, and I just want to see how it looks. How it looks like fine or not with this one. I think it's a bit small, probably. Okay, let's create foliage type. For that we need foliage type, and I will do foliage type. For that I need to assign the staticness. What I want to have is aligned into normal CSS, but I have a little angle that can be random yaw. This is fine, this is fine. Static cool distance, I will just maybe try something like this. No shadows at all, no collision, no navigation, no shadows, nothing. And finally this enable density scaling that I'm using, and I think that's all at the moment. This is fine. So let's try to paint something here just to see how it goes with this foliage. So for that reason I will use this layer, and I will add here a new layer for foliage. It will be this one, and at the density I would like to use kind of this, which is just 10. This is fine, also 10 will be fine. And then just painting this one, painting this layer, and this is something like that. The thing is that probably we need to have more space, something green to have here. I will just hide this one. I don't want to see all of them, and I will use much bigger brush. That's too much. Probably something like that. Probably could be about the distance. Well, as you can see, it's too small. It's really small, so just the grass is bigger. So what we need to do is let's select all thing and delete. Select all instance and just delete. Yes. Oops. Okay. So what we need to do is also about the scale. I probably use this is so small, so I think I will just change here. This is much easier to have here. So I will do the scale like 1.5, and this is G, and then what we need to do is just fix this location. Export. This is the one. Re-import. And then I will just paint here to see what is now much bigger or not. Oops, this select. So we can see here that this is our grass already. It's bigger. So I have a few colors here. If we are just doing this real time we can see that they are just moving. About the distance, we can even reduce a bit because it's not really, you cannot notice much this one. In fact, anyway, they're small. I think they're small, too much. You can almost not see with this grass, so it makes no sense having all those things here. I will just even make bigger this one. Scale weighing point 5 or maybe this is too much already. I think we don't need to pre-paint anything, it's just reloading this one, re-import, and to be exactly, it's just bigger. It seems probably fine, or is it too much? Let's just walk around. More or less fine about the size, but probably is maybe too strong about the intensity, or just I don't know, we need to change the color a bit more pale probably, which is just too bright at the moment comparing with the grass, and the light seems a bit too strong for that. So it could be just lowering down a bit about the color for this one probably, but the rest is almost fine. It's a bit white, should be grass. Yeah, I think just changing the intensity of the light could be enough. Let me just try this one. In a while we will just change the picture, so it's just changing a bit of this. Let me just try only this area, and we'll have here as reference. So first we need to do is reduce a bit about tone and saturation, bit like that. This is a bit less, which is fine. And another thing that we need to do is about also contrast probably. So it's just with less, with dark, and more contrast to have something like that. So we can see here how this one has changed. Something pale, I think it's fine. So let's save as PNG. Okay. Okay. Let's just keep this one at the moment, and we'll just re-import this picture. So it should be a bit less, which is better, I think. So better if this one is already loading. Seems fine. I don't like what is this definition. For some reason, it's fine. I should work a bit more about those white things. So here, for example, let's try something like that. Paint. Yeah, as you can see, I need to work a bit more about those white things. It's really not nice. Also here it's cut down, but it's fine. Okay. So, but anyway, more or less, this is fine, and we have already another flower to paint. So just adding the lining, and I will just try a different time of the day to see different colors lining for this one. could be fine. Seems fine, it's not really noticeable, but works fine. And I will just try to paint a few things more. For example, here I would like to paint some area that I have much more about this, but really kind of a lot of them. So let's see, for example, here we have some space. We can paint even with more detail, I mean more density about this. So instead of using 10 we have been doing, let's try something like 50. So to see what is happening here, as you can see, it is really a lot of them. We remove the trees. You can see there are a lot of them here. Looks fine, not really a lot, but I mean, let's just walk. So let's see. Yeah, it's fine. For some areas we could use something like that. I think the density is too much for that case, but I mean we can use some patches with them a bit bigger. And also I was just forgetting about, I think it's about the size, because you can paint with different size, and I'm not doing that, which is just introducing a bit more variation about this. So for that I forgot. I think we can repaint them with that. So here we have the minimum is, let's say 25, and then going to 1.5 or something like that. So kind of repaint, not sure. Okay, I will just select all of them. Select all of them. No, select all instance about this, and in that case I think it's just deleting everything, and also it was deleting the last one here, but this is fine. And then something not so much density or paint. This is this here. So some area with a higher density about this, and also different sizes is fine. So now it's fine. We can try different times of the day to see ironing about this. Yeah, for this one it's a bit wide for probably because I'm not using normal, but I think it's just about the white one that I need to work a bit more about this. So let's just do that. Probably oh what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, something like that. Not this. Anyway, it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit white. Could be just better. Let's save as PNG again. Place, and then reload here. So we just removing this white one, a bit of them at least. You can just paint a bit of the the grass around this. But anyway, it seems fine. Let's try another time of the day. More or less fine. 6 in the morning, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Seems fine. I think I will just keep this one as this. Since working fine. Probably I will paint a bit more with those colors, but this is fine. Maybe this area, but the density will be slower if it's too much. So I think even 10 is fine. So let's paint this one with 10. This is 10. And I will paint a bit of this. Either like this. Let's at the moment just hide the trees. Not easy to manage them. So here we have a few of them. We should check also about the distance for this cool distance when they are disappearing. And also I would like to check about say the complexity, if they are being, I think they are fine. I mean, more or less it's fine. You cannot even see them, especially being worse than usually just grass, so I cannot see any dot red or even white. In fact, I cannot find which one is the one that we are just doing. So I guess it's just one more. Not really sure what this. So yeah, I cannot find any problem here. Let's check now about the distance for this is going well here. But let's check the distance when they are disappearing. Should be fine for, well, I think should be a bit less because the grass is already disappearing, but not this one. So we can even, I think we could cut down a bit before, or well, the problem is just deleting is fine, but if you are going there walking, you would like to have even longer distance so you can see this one. I think I will keep at this since fine. Let me see him walking. And density is also fine, because you can also find a lot of them. Probably I will use later another colors, another flowers, so it's good to have only a few of them, otherwise it will be a lot when you have a few variations more about different colors. And I will just paint here with the red one. Example here is a bit empty about the grass, so let me paint a bit about this one and not this one. This is painting and I should use something smaller. I will just paint a bit of this to the trail of this one. Okay, it's fine. And I would like to paint with this red one for a few of them. Let's say for example here, seems fine. So what I want to paint is this one on single instance, which I will paint here with them. something like that could be fine. I think it's fine. We don't need to put a lot of them. Okay, that's a few of them. So let's walk. Oops. So walk in this way. This is fine. What about the blue ones? This is more or less also fine. What I see here is just a hole. Exactly. This is not nice. So let's paint with the grass. Grass here, not this one, not single instant. Okay. Let's paint now a bit of this, probably single instance. Here, but this is not, this is too much already. This one and that one, and now this. Okay. This is fine. Let's walk. Let's walk around. This is fine. So let's probably do another flower that I would like to have. Let me see. We can try this one, a small one, lavender. So I will do exactly the same, but we will do now a new one. So just mess will be playing. Seven, okay, and then we'll just remove vertices. We have here one, need to be closer. And we will do exactly the same, duplicate all of them. And we will add later a bit of resolution. We can even remove a few of them. Things like that. Probably. I will check later if we have too much triangles or not, but at the moment just trying to do all the surface, and then we'll see with probably like that. We will reduce later because it seems to me that we have already a lot of them. We can just simplify a bit. Probably this one is just kind of that. And just let me see. We can reduce this one, this all, and probably this one also. Yes, and probably this one. Not sure about this. Just divide. This is fine. This is also going well. I think that's all. So let's select all of them, fill all of them, and we have 32 triangles, which is more or less, I think, is fine. I'm just checking what could just reduce. I think it's fine. Let's now unwrap this one from view, and then adjust the size for this one, so something smaller. Is it fine or too much? It's still too much. Just still a bit. I think it's fine. So I will just paint vertex paint because I forgot last time. We'll just paint this one and probably also this. I'm not sure. We will check about this because I'm not pretty sure. So I should just paint also both vertices, and the next thing is just duplicate, and from that we will have just moving to this one, this is here, and rotate x90, this is fine, and I want to see where the another one is, so probably is about yeah, we will have exactly the same problem with the shader later if we are not orientating this one fine. So we can already hide this one, but seems to me is so small. I think it's so small comparing with this one, for example, so I will just create something bigger. And also we don't have all those things, so we don't have the button. Not sure about this, something like that probably. Let me hide something. I'm not sure about this. So this lavender, we'll just save this one. Export, and I will do that lavender. All is selected and so on. Yeah. Okay. So here what we need is the same. So lavender, where is my FBX here? Import, and what we need is probably this is a texture, and what is this? Is the mesh foliage type, and where is my this is the material. Probably I need the same material, I think, for both of them, because it's just changing the UV, but it's exactly the same. So let's say this one is material flowers, that one for this, and I think I will use exactly the same here. So material flowers one, yeah, it was as expected. This is fine. The other thing is being on the button or not. It should be no. Oh, probably forgot about this. Now it's fine. Now should be fine. Just being re-import is fine. Okay, and do the same. I will just duplicate this one because this is exactly the same that I'm doing. The only things that I need to do is just change the mesh, because I have even the same texture, everything like that. So lavender, and then foliage type, and just change the mesh that we are using. The same texture, size, rotation, collision, everything like that will be exactly the same. Okay, so we have another foliage type that we can use. So let's add here this one. And for this one, oh no, wait, where is my, this is the new one, lavender. For this one, I will have the same. I have all of them the same for size and scale and everything like that. So just let's paint. First I will just paint something on the trail so it's easy to see. This one, we have this one selected, not this one. Place here. Yeah, we are missing the button part, but this is fine because I don't have this one in the picture and I was not doing longer with my grass. But in that case, I think that we can just keep like this at the moment, because if we are painting, for example, here the grass, you cannot see the button, so this is fine. I cannot see even the button with this one. Trying to be, it's not possible to see this one. So let's delete and just paint some area with this new color, for example something that we can see. I don't want to paint the one that we have already, so let me see, probably this area. Let's paint here. Oops, so the grass is not well here, not much. Okay, just for testing, let's try. This is the one selected. There's no single instance, and I will try something bigger, something like that. Okay, let's walk, check closer, and let's try to see the button of them, which is not visible at all. So yeah, there's something big. In fact, it's a bit big, being honest. It's a bit bigger than another one, but this is fine. I think we could keep also like that. Yes, this is big also. What about the distance of this one? So still you can see at the distance is fine, or probably maybe too much. This is disappearing, and then let's check when they are just coming. Here they are coming, at least. I think it's too far. It's too far. I will just try to reduce this one. Also we will improve a bit about performance. So I will just try to reduce quite a lot. This is just fine. And we can check it like that. Let's see, this is the one, and let's see when they are just disappearing. So they almost disappear with the grass, which is fine. The same distance, so they are just disappearing with the grass. And let's see every button. I like it. Let's change the time of the day so we can see. It's fine. Yes. They disappear together with the same distance as the first lot of the grass. So when it's less dense the grass, they are just disappearing at the same time. I was keeping the red one because it's just more noticeable, so I was just keeping that to be popping or something, but for that one it's just almost disappearing and you don't have any problem watching that. This is perfectly fine. Let's try different time of the day with different lights. For example, here you can even not notice when they are just disappearing. It's completely just matching with the grass and they just disappear, and almost impossible to see any difference with them. So, yes, it's going well. I will check now about shader complexity to see if it's something bad. So they're just, that's the place, and there is nothing here. So absolutely nothing. So we can already paint a bit more. We can try to paint, but the light match is about this light. It's a bit dark. Probably it's about the normal map, not use normal map when we have the lights at this time. It's just being a bit dark, but it's fine. So we could try to paint here with the new one, this lavender, which is fine. This one. Let's single painting. So this. A few of them. Really, the density is not much, so you are painted like 10 of them, 20. At the moment, it's kind of 20. So you cannot really see a lot of them. Even some of them, for those cool distance, you cannot even see when you are painting, but they are there. So like that, and then if you are just walking there, you can see that of course you are being painting them, and you can see them, but you need to move closer. So you can see here that we have been painting all those areas. We can try to add also a few one for those turquoise. So, but I will really reduce the. I would like to reduce a lot of this density, something even less. This is too much, or something like 3, because I don't want to have a lot of them. You can really notice them, so not much here, and a bit of this. In fact, it's too bright. I think that I will just even reduce the brightness of this one and still you can see a lot of them. For this area could be probably fine because you have few trees here and usually you don't have so much lights in this area. But anyway, it seems to me this painting a lot of them, really a lot of them. I don't like this. I will just try to delete this one and I'm not sure if we can reapply this one. Anyway, in that case I will just select them and I will delete them and repaint again. This is not really a lot, being honest. I cannot see a lot of them, so probably I'm just messing with another one with the color is not so different, so we just, well, it's still too much. Are just missing something? No. Okay, I'm repaint again, but the density will be even less, so something like 1 here per meter. Ouch. Even like that seems to me a lot. I don't know. Okay, let's check again. This is fine because I think I'm messing both of them and thinking that they are exactly the same, but it's not. So this is fine. I could probably reduce a bit about brightness, but it's just Photoshop, so it's not probably for density. Seems fine. And as I said, that having here a few trees, you cannot really see a lot of them. And for example, right now is the time of the day is 11, so it is just very bright at this moment because I'm using something like that. In the morning you can even see less of them. If I'm using something in the afternoon or even later, you don't have even light because you have here the houses and also the trees, so yeah, it's not much that you can see. I would like to have probably something like white or yellow, something that's more a bit of color here, not just everything. This green and blue, there's not a big difference for that. And the red one seems to me a bit dark. Probably I need to check out the normal map, or I don't know what the problem could be for that. Which is just using exactly the same shader for the other flowers, but the thing is just changing the map. But this is all using the base color. Even like that, it's not working very well. This is fine. And what about walking there? I like it. It's fine. I'm not really thinking that I'm missing a lot of things. Could be a bit different color, like I say, something yellow or white, but not much. Chamomile probably, having a few of them, it is already white and yellow, but the rest is pretty fine. Yeah, I think so. I think it's fine. I'm not changing this one. At the moment it's working fine. Yeah, something white probably. They always have to need something white, clean. but it's fine. Maybe the grass having a few variation, different color from the grass, because at the moment it's just almost the same size and also it's exactly the same color, which is the grass is fine, but probably to see something nicer as stain should be maybe having a few different colors for different areas or just different grass, but I'm not, it's fine. The ferns, I don't really like them. I think I was already removing a few of them because I don't like them, and probably will remove all of them. I will just put some of them only inside of the forest, but I will just remove all of them, especially here that is so close and it's an open area, so where is no reason to have this. Yeah, all those areas in front. I should add here, I think, around this house nicer. Yes, let's paint something. I think I will use single instance instead of just painting the whole thing. So this, that, save everything, and I will paint. Which one? This is the one, so single instance. Okay, and now this. Few flowers. Sometimes they are so small that you cannot even see, but need to be oriented to. Probably let's paint something here, and now this, and finally this one. Why I cannot see the one that I was just painting? So let me see. Okay. There are some of them that I'm painting and I cannot even see. Probably because they are so small comparing with the grass. Or I'm having some few problems with the cool distance, so when painting even I cannot see them, even if I'm painting them. Okay, and I think that I would like to have this one because under the trees this one is not. You can put much more and it's not really very dense. You can see not having much light, so like this. This is, it's hard to find them in your painting. Let me hide this one also. but I would like to have them not to be painting on, as I did already, on rocks or just trees. So it's here and this one. I don't know why it's just trying this navigation every time that I put a flower. If I'm not using this navigation for the flower is not using navigation, I'm not having any proxy at all. So just let me check if for some reason it has prior collision, which is not. And let me check this one also. This is not player collision, and you can see here it's 0, so it means no collision. So there's no reason to repaint navigation every single time, but just, I don't know, painting one flower with no collision and no navigation. So really, I don't know what is this exactly doing. Let's just check, walk around a bit. Okay, to see if we are painting too much or it's lining well. Seems fine. What about this group? Yeah, not too much. And what about this area? Is it possible to see them from this side, to this turn? Yes. So yeah, you have some detail there. Oh, yes, walking, and you can see a few of them. Hello Ronald, how's it going? Just painting some flowers, yeah, playing with the different flower colors and just doing some foliage. I was already modeling and just a texture. I think I'm missing, I would like to have a new flower with white or yellow. Will be just completing this part area. I'm programmer also. Let me check about this Discord, because I don't have it open when I'm just streaming, not to have disturbing things like that. Let me see where you are. I see. Okay, let me just turn up here. There's people coming. I'm not a programmer, so mainly programming, but of course doing this game I'm doing everything. So I'm just modeling all the models that I have in the game, the lighting, texturing, all the code blueprints, the user interface, also the sounds. So doing everything, but mainly being a coder. So that's also the reason that my models are more or less fine or looks fine, but they are mainly boxes. All of them are just almost boxes, so not really detailed, because I cannot spend days and days for every single model like people is just spending 1 month for one weapon or things like that. So it's just something that I need to do 3 of them per hour, things like that. Otherwise it's not finishing never. And for example with the code, it takes also a bit of time, and you can spend the whole day just trying to fix a few things. About code, I have C++, I have base classes for example the inventory, pockets, I have mission manager and a few manager things, items and things like that I have from C++. and then over there I'm just creating blueprints, which is just much easier to develop or just testing and things like that. In the future, if something very more complex or bigger one, I'm just moving to C++, but not usually. I don't have any problem with the performance. Of course, since it's a single player, so it's not a problem. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure. I don't think that I have seen you. Let me see your what is this your just to see your profile if I have seen you before or no. If you are streaming, because I'm not sure if you are streaming, probably no, because I have seen no videos here, so yeah, let's try. Yeah, I have, I don't know, maybe 1 or 150 blueprints at the moment, and I'm using this device that is converting to C++, and it's working fine, and I don't have big problems for performance because it's single player, and there's nothing really hard for the CPU, so for me it's fine. Blueprint is fine. I'm also compiling to C++ is even better, so I don't have any problem, like really need to move all the blueprints to C++. So main reason, mainly about arrays. For example, as you say, with the inventory, it's much easier to have just a map of C++ than having a lot of arrays and then managing, inserting and things like that with 100 of nodes. And also a few things about math, because it's just easy to write one single line with a few operations, and you need a lot of nodes for a blueprint. Of course, you can just compact them for one and so on, but anyway, you need to put all those nodes and connect them. So for some math, it's much easier just to, you know, do in C++. And for example, having a few helper classes that is just a few functions that you don't really need to have in blueprints. No. So have you been working on it for long? Do you have something to see already, or in the middle, just starting, small team, you are alone, group team, or what's this about your medieval RPG? Because I'm also interested, of course. I'm doing also medieval RPG, so. Oh, what do you mean usually? Because I'm streaming every day, but I don't remember it. I was talking with you before. I don't think so. Yeah, I have also a few interactions just using a Rycast, and that's all. For equipment, in my case, it's just something simple. I will just show you. At the moment, I'm not having really something complex. So yeah, I have 2 hands that you can just kind of equip. So I can just, for example, this one or this one. Let me just make bigger. So I can just put this one here, just clicking. You know, click this one, and then I have here in my inventory. If I can click, this one is going to the inventory, and then I just equip this one, just replacing and things like that. So I can just use things like tools, or for example here seeds if you are just planting or farming or things like that. You have equipping your hands, but not for example for helmet and clothes and things like that. So it's just hands to having tools, and your inventory here, the missions here. But I have a few of them. This is play state for being tired, and I want to have also like charisma and wellness and things like that. Inventory, money, and time of day, and that's also, yeah, this is I don't have any equipment because in my game I don't have any weapons, so helmet, armor, things like that, you don't need to equip your players, that's fine. And about the inventory, yeah, it's just here as you see, the inventory is just, of course, it's plenty of things because just for testing I have a lot of things, but just inventory. And for example, if you go to the markets, yeah, the links should work, the links, if it's not broken. So you can put there, I don't know, pictures or links or things like that. I was removing those links for some time because I don't know, was so popular with those casino guys, you know, they were just coming here to put links for casino all the time. but from some time maybe they forgot of me or just died it, and then I just enable again the links. So here for example you have also the inventory, and the trader is here with things that you can buy and sell, the same. And I have the same also for example, let me see where I have this one. If I go this way, I have also vaults here, so you can just, it's the same, you put their things and just click to move there. So the same with vaults and a few things like that. What is happening? Are you trying to put the link, something else is not working? Should be working the links. So interaction is just about Raycast, and I was just doing just the Raycast to some custom collision. So I have custom collision interactive, and all those Raycasts is just taking care about interactive collisions. So I have already this one for storing things there. I have also crafting. You can sit here, you can sleep, open close doors and things like that. So for interacting, it's just the Raycast working on it, and then a few things like that. For example, here you have benches, you have windows, you have this one, you have here the bed. But it's just using Raycast to find these custom collision items. So any actor with this collision is just but is it not working the links there? Let me see what the problem is. Are you trying to share the links here in the Discord and the Twitch? Or what is the problem with this one? I think it's enabled. Do you have any problem just trying to put a link or something like that? Because I think that I was removing and there is not a problem with links. I'm trying to find this one, but really this Twitch sometimes is hard to find all the configuration for some reason. Don't know. This is profile, and then this is a link about things and configuration here. What is this chat? I cannot find this, but I think the links are working. Of course, I'm trying. It's working for me because the restriction is only for not moderators, things like that. So mine should work, but I don't know. Yeah, but the thing is you want to see someone is watching this one together with this streaming. If you put there, nobody can even take this one or just commenting about this. So that's why I'm saying. But if it's just a picture, you can use this. What is this? The name of this? Imgur, yeah, Imgur, or you can use this Yatho or things like that. Привет, какой? Вот как сделаю сейчас делаю свиток. А вы так и сработали на свиток какой? Разные какие. Yeah, add the link here because people, yeah, exactly. If people is just trying to see this picture or something, they cannot see. Let me see if I can just put here. I will just I'm opening and I will just add here, okay? Hold on. This is one of the pictures that you were just adding, and let me see another one. you do all the items and everything like that, all the icons and things like that? Have you been doing that? Just painting, or what are you doing? Because I was just taking a few pictures from internet and then just yeah, with Photoshop, but I was doing my icons from pictures. So my pictures, well, anyway, just play and that's all. You see, all the icons are just pictures that I was just taking, and yeah, a bit of Photoshop of course, but just painting items all together. But in your case, I think you are just painting them. Or maybe there's a pack of things like that you are just using. But it is already, because I see here, for example, here I see that you have here the frames for that, so it means it is already Unreal Engine. So this is a widget. I suppose that you are just painting all the in a widget already, so you have a lot of things. Well, this is fine, but at the moment I'm just streaming, so it's just saying, I was just opening this Discord just to say hello, but I'm not taking care about Discord at the time that I'm just streaming, just to be keeping focused things that I'm doing. Otherwise it's just chatting to there and here and so that is not you know, just in the middle. So I was just checking this website because it's something they were commenting on, but I'm not checking, for example, websites, profiles, or chat during the time than just streaming, just to be focused on it. But later, of course, we can. Just not to keep this streaming at the time that I'm talking with you or things like that, you know. Yeah, it's fine. It's not a problem. Just not during the time that I'm streaming, because I'm doing just cutting down this one or leaving, or yeah, it's not the way. So yeah. So the picture I was using here, and this is the flowers that I was doing. Still it's a bit dirty about this white one. Where is this white one coming from? Because I don't see this one here, but I see this one here. Probably, do I just re-import last time? Probably missing this one. No. Wait, because it's not this one, but this one. Okay, now I see. Okay, this is the even more. No, this is too much. Okay, let's save again. Now it's a bit better. It's not perfect, of course, but yeah, that's fine. Because even just walking here. Okay, see you later. Good luck. So even here closer, you cannot see any detail about this, so I don't need to work a lot on Photoshop for that. This is fine. You can see so small detail. In fact, I should reduce, because it's just maybe 1 key this texture, but should be smaller. Let me see. Who is just coming here? Oops. Messing everything. You mean when walking around, for example, this you are just affecting the grass? Well, at the moment the grass has no any collision about that, so no, not planning to have collision like clothes or with, for example, even the ferns here are a bit bigger. I'm not planning to put this one because it's just something nice, but it's not really needed. It's just visual and there's nothing about the gameplay, so it's just spending time on things that are really not needed at all. In case that I'm doing probably well, for pickups, yes, I have already picking up not plants because I have at the moment, but I have some resource, like for example, let me see if I can find something here. So go to the forest and you should find, for example, here you have stones, so you pick up them and they will be in your inventory, okay? And you can pick up also if you find wood. So let's walk a bit, try to find something. Have more stones. Let's see if we can find something. It's so easy to find, but of course not plenty of them, so I will just try to find another stone. There are also, well, you can see here, you can pick up some stick wood from the forest, and then they are going to the inventory. Here you see, so you can pick up already things from the forest, and I will have in the future with a flower, which is exactly the same, just a model and picking up from this right cast. So that's exactly the same, but it's already done. So you can pick up things from the forest and resource, and will be of course just some plants or herbs, things like that, which is exactly, it's just spawning and that's all. This is a resource area, so it's like a big box here. Should be, it's a box. This one is clicking on it. No. Okay, this one. This is a big box that is a resource area, so it's just spawning number of items with different resource, different items. It's just spawning and then respawning during the night with all the things that are missing to keep the same rate of items all the time, so don't having more or less that you have. Outlining, you mean the line from the shader? Well, most of the games have this one, but in my case I would like to have kind of very realistic. So for example, you cannot find a note from under a stone, or you cannot find armor just on the forest. It's just something stupid, you know. So it's just being realistic. It's kind of this, so you have a stick, stones, and that's all. So it's not I'm trying to keep this one all the time realistic, and also looking realistic for that. Of course it's just a game, you know, not the breathing simulator, but yeah, kind of realistic. So for example, things like that, having strange, that's also the reason to have all my items are just a picture, and the hands are pictures, so trying to be kind of realistic instead of just painting something or being, I don't know, cartoonish or things like that. So for me, I will not do, in my case, I will not do, for example, outlining for the thing that you are just pointing them, and the only thing is just having this icon just telling you what the action is, but there's nothing. And for example, in case that you have I'm planning to have some sound when you are picking up things, but will be like gathering things and not really, I don't know, music or something every time that you take a new item or a new resource. So it's just trying to be something simple. So for such kind of things, effects or particles or things like this, I'm not doing that. Which is fine if others are doing, and most of the games are doing that, you know, this outlining for resource or actions, or even with NPCs or things like go to this point and you have something, you know, blinking there, things like that. But I try to keep as it is. So for example, playing, as you can see, this is nothing on screen, there is nothing. Well, this small point that you can see where you are pointing, but there is nothing in your URL. So this the HUD is nothing. Just in case, for example, you are running This is your stamina that you can see, you know. But in case that is restoring, it's just disappearing again after a second, couple seconds. So you don't have anything on screen. This is the game. There's nothing on screen, keeping this immersion to be as it is. You know, that's all. And this is first person all the time. You can see yourself. Okay, even running, you can see. But this is first person, and you cannot be third person or things like that. So it's a real game. You are walking. That's all. So there's no option to change to all of them. There's things like jumping and things like that. So it's just walking, and you don't have anything on the screen in case you have any action you have. If you want to go here, okay, this is having your things. This just remove again, and that's all. So you have nothing on screen because you don't really need. For example, you want to see what you have in your hand, just right click, you see your hands, you know. So it's nothing here. And in case, for example, you have missions starting, you have some message. If you are, for example, talking with some NPCs, you have the dialogues on text, but only during the time you are talking, of course. But the rest of the time, your HUD is completely empty, so there's nothing on screen during the whole game. There's nothing here. If I'm running, as you can see, my stamina. And for example, if you are too tired, you see your tiredness on screen all the time, kind of you are less than 10% or 5%, like some warning that you need to do something, take any action about this one. But that's the only time that you have anything on the screen. The rest of the time it's fine, you see nothing. You have nothing on your screen all the time. So this is completely HUD, nothing. But of course there are hundreds of things that are being shown when you are doing action, or you have any information on screen, or things like that. For example, for the action like gathering, things like this, you have something on the screen. The rest of the time the screen is completely empty, so there's nothing here, just walking and some sounds, nothing. In my case, I don't want to add anything to the screen. The screen is empty and will be completely empty all the time, because I don't think that you need any information on the screen all the time. I don't know, because for example the life that you have, or the weapons that you have, I don't have any weapon, and life, at the moment you are not dying in this game, you know. You can fail your missions, things like that, but you cannot die. So nobody's just killing you or attacking, so this is fine. I don't need to have, for example, life or even like stamina. It's just only the time that it's just working, you know. Let me see. Yeah, in your case, for example, here you have third person, which is already with different, and here you have information about probably things that you can do. You have also, for example, the weapons that you have. Well, here on the top, I don't know what is this exactly, but maybe your life or this one probably is kind of minimap, supposed to be. I'm not sure about this one. It's just nothing probably. So yeah, in your case, you should have probably more information, or you want to have a few things like, I don't know, what you have in your hands, or the weapons that you have right now equipped on, things like that. Or for example, your life, I don't know, stamina, stronger, energy, I don't know, things like that you have. But in my case, I'm saying no, I'm not using this one. So in my case, it's completely empty because I don't have anything of that. But if you consider that this is really needed, or it's useful to have on screen all the time, of course, go for it. And most of the games have exactly like that. You have those information all the time on screen. In my case, I don't need it, and I'm not planning to do, because it's, my main idea is playing kind of medieval simulator, and them need to be kind of realistic, and to keep this immersion is all the time like that. For example, about the time you are playing real time. I mean, 1 minute in game is 1 minute in life, real life. But you can, for example, when you are sleeping or working, you are speeding up the the time not to really waiting for 8 hours just watching or you are sleeping. So it takes maybe 5 or 10 seconds to pass all the night, and then you start again playing real time. And you can play, of course, if this is just passing 8 hours, you will be playing after the 8 hours, because it's just this is full day-night cycle. I can just speed up the things just to show you with some keys. So here you can see the speed on the right, for example, and I can go faster and even faster. You can see the sun. What is the sun? The sun should be running. Okay, the sun is running. So you can see it day and night. It will be passing the whole night. You can see tiredness here, for example. Let me see. Let me see. Sitting down. And you have here the time on screen, so you can see the time of the day. The sun is passing. You can cancel anytime, of course. So you can see the day passing, and you have day and night completely cycle. So you play at any time during the day, and it's not just the same all the time. So yeah, this kind of immersion for. Okay. So if I cancel here, I continue walking, playing at this time. This is the right time. I can check the time here. It is just at this time coming to tonight. I will just speed up a bit just for debug. So this is just I have a few keys for debugging. Let's say you finish here. Okay. So this is night. Okay, you play at night. You know, you're just playing during night. There's nothing to see, of course, because you don't have any torch here. So you play during night, but you for some reason are just waiting or resting for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. It will be 4 in the morning, so I will just wait a bit during night. Night is passing, and then the day is coming, and I will start, for example, at 4 or 5 in the morning. You can play at this time, so at any time of the day. Let's go. Something this is already 5 in the morning. Okay, so this is 5 in the morning or 5:30. You see here the time, and okay, you play at this time. The world is just the same because you are playing for a few different days, so you need to pass days, and you can see this is completely exactly the same. All of them are working all together because it has dropping for testing. I do all of them together, but it's just some of them working. So just the game is the whole day, and you play all the day at any time. So even like that, I don't have any information about the time. You have only this clock there. Let me see the last link. I didn't check. Sorry. Yeah, you have this outline for things that you are pointing. Yeah. Have you been doing also all those weapons? Or, I mean, are you alone in the team, or there are more people there, or what's this? Do you have a website probably for this game already or not? I'm just watching there. Really a lot of them. Let me close a few things. I'm starting having problem with the RAM. So this is not, and this is not. I will save this. Anyway, RAM is not going well. Okay. Is it going? I forgot always to add a few links here. what is happening with this? Okay, now I see. I was having a few problems with the RAM, so some web pages were just being unloaded. So I had things here. I'm not sure about this chat, if I had lost it or is it still working fine. Okay, worse. Wait, I have a lot of things open. So did you model all of them? How have to be modeling, because 300 things are a lot of things to model, and also you have maybe characters, and I can see here trees and things like that. Well, some of them is not so complex to do, but many of those probably takes time to do a lot of them, you know. I need to model also a few things like that. I don't have this one. I don't have magic spells and things like that. So less things to do. I will have kind of also, for example, for some herbs that you are just cooking or learning, because this is kind of the skill trace that you are doing, learn new things to cooking, and then herbs and things like that. You need to go to the forest and find them, or just buying them, then learn how to manage, and then after that you are increasing your skills and things like that. But as I say, something realistic, something simple, like learning a few things and just trying with a few herbs, and not much. So not really big. And this is not multiplayer, MMO, RPG, open world and things like that. So it's just single player, small world, and not much. That's fine. That's why they are selling, and also it's just good to speed up what is just quite typical to have all of them the same. Because for example, I was modeling for a few months, and after that I don't have anything to do. I mean, I need a few models where to do all this gameplay, and probably I will improve later or just replace some of them, so it's not a big problem. But at least you will still moving, because you need at least a few models to start doing some gameplay. If you don't have any models, it's hard just to start doing with just boxes or things like that, so it's fine. I didn't want to buy, well, the first thing, I don't have any money, so my budget is completely zero, nothing. So I cannot even buy things like, you know, $20 and then $5 and then $20, things like that. So I was modeling everything on myself, and then taking a few textures from the internet for free. They're just giving, and then just working on it. But yeah, but I didn't want also buying things, so I don't want to have them being kind of very generic, or just finding buildings exactly the same in another games. Even I was not selling the one that I was modeling, because I have a few models, of course, but since not much, I mean a few houses and some here things that seems not much, but I have more than 100 props, which seems not much, but there are more than 100 with all the loads, and then some textures, specific textures for things like that or that. So it takes a few times just to model all of them, all more things. And of course I have the houses. I was modeling also the grass, flowers, the rocks. I was modeling the trees, and a few more things. For example, this is a watermelon. Since simple, but inside you have all of them, and you have here, for example, the word watermill, the model with all the gears, and also you have gear here. So few things that seem so simple, it takes really time, you know, like 3 days modeling maybe everything, having some good reference and a few models to check the size for the thing. So yeah, it takes time. Because of things like that, it's really easy. You can maybe create 3 of them in 1 hour, so it's not fun. It's not a big problem. I was doing this one also during streaming. This one maybe I did 3 of them in 1 hour, things like that. So it's quite simple. Or for example, bridges like this one, which is really simple. It takes, I don't know, 15 minutes to do that. So not really a big problem. But no, I'm coder. I say that I'm programmer. I was working 20 years as programmer, so I'm just coder. I'm just doing this game. In fact, I did another game. First game that I was doing, there was just chess, which is 95% just code, and yeah, 5% is just. But I'm not a modeler. I'm just using Blender to finish all those things, and that's all. I was modeling everything, but I mean, I'm a coder, so most of my work is just coding, so I'm a programmer, and I was working for 20 years as a coder, programming. So that's the first thing that I was doing. It was a chess, which is 95% just code, and 5% is just small pieces, you know, like 8 model of pieces, and that's all, on the board. And this game I wanted to do a few more things, and I was just learning, for example, about the animations, modeling. I was already modeling, I know about this, and there's texturing, there's UV, unwrapping, and I was also learning about the performance for full distance, and then about the shaders, performance, and everything that was just all learning, or I was have an idea about this for some time. But anyway, if I'm not knowing about something, I'm just learning and trying to do this one. That's why my models are, for example, as you can see, the houses are almost boxes. Yeah, I know, because it's not my job, and I'm not planning to have this one. If you check all my links, you cannot find any art station link or things like that, because I'm not an artist, and I'm not planning to work an artist, a 3D artist, things like that, or level designer. But I was designing everything. Yeah, that's true. But I'm not planning to work like that. This is not my job. So yeah, you can see all the models that I was doing, but they are quite simple because I'm not a 3D artist. That's the thing. The problem with that is, and you know already doing a game, that this is fine if you are only doing weapon for 1 month or 1 week. It's fine for your portfolio, it's fine. But if you need to do 100 of them, you need to cut down a lot of things, and then speed up the process, and the workflow need to be changed to something much faster. If over that you need to do also all the code, and over that you need to do also the user interface, the word user interface, and things like that, you know, it's just growing more and more things, and then you cannot spend more than maybe 1 day in one NPC, or maybe a couple of hours for 3 cards, things like that, you know, and then it's just cutting down everything too much. That's well, you need to finish in this life. That's the thing. Yeah. You can see that the model is fine. So over time I can do already the gameplay. That's what my main idea. I need to put some model things, and then I can do a game, because the main idea is doing a game and not just understand that it's nice, you know. So it needs to be working well, working good performance, and everything needs to be done, and then you need to have some interaction, and then you need to have the user interface which is useful to use, and things like that, and not just a weapon which is nice doing with substance painting, and that's all, you know. Like, that's my portfolio. Okay, fine, but this is not a game. It's just one picture. But I can do a lot of pictures, of course, but need to be working here, working well, good FPS, frame rate, things like that. This is a real game, and not just okay one thing that I can do at any moment, you know. But this is fine, buying models or not, you know, buying even blueprints, code, or having contractor coders or everything like that, because I know how long it takes, all the things that you need to do. You have some money, of course you can pay or spend your money in a few things, and you don't really spend a lot of time on things like that, because maybe the model is fine, but you need to learn modeling. It's not the same as just doing the models, you know. And you need to learn code in C++. It's not the same like doing your plugin, you know. It's like it's not exactly the same. So if you need to do a few things, it takes time, but you need also to learn that and then master that. It takes really much longer, and then of course you can pay. The same, when your car is broken, probably you can fix this one, but you go there and pay someone that have already knowledge to fix this one, and you don't need to learn how to fix your own car. It doesn't mean that you cannot do that. You can do that, but it takes really long time, and it's much easier and faster just pay, because this is not your job probably, you know. And there's some people this is your job, so it's fine. You can probably do everything in your game, but it takes time. And maybe takes too much time. If you want to finish in this life, as I say, I need to cut down a lot of things. So nothing about MMO, RPG, open world, 64 kilometers square, nothing like that, you know. It says cut down everything or you will never finish, you know. That's the thing. So it will be 100 breeds and then 100 different weapons, and okay, the main realistic, you will never finish this one, you know. So try to do 4 of them. 4 weapons could be fine, you know. If I can see your NPC walking and I can see that you can change between 4 weapons, that's a lot. But just talking to me with not about you, I mean people saying like it will be 100 or 1000. Okay, let's try to do something. Just a couple of them, you know, and after that we will see how long it will take for 1000 or things like that. So yeah, it's fine, it's good. So I was just checking that you have a lot of items, and I was just thinking maybe you are spending a lot of time, and you say you were buying, perfect, no problem at all, buying, and then you need to cut down things. You know, probably I can do my own game engine, but I need maybe 300 years, things like that. So I'm just using Unreal Engine. And then if I'm just selling this game, I will pay my percentage for this company, because they're giving me this engine for free, you know. So what is bad? Well, what is the limit? Because I can do everything. Probably I could do my own computer, but I'm just buying one that's already, you know, mounted. Yeah, you need to cut down at any time. You need to pay someone and then continue from this point, and not from every single thing, you know. I could go also to the mountain and then take some materials and then create my computer and then start doing my game, you know. But okay, when are you cutting down? Because probably you need to do also your tools, and then it's never ending. Yeah, I'm doing completely alone. So everything that you see on the game screen and everything I did. Most of the thing I did already on streaming, because I have been streaming for long, really. Maybe 1 year or things like that. But at the beginning it was just streaming a few modeling because I have nothing more to show. I was streaming before another game, the chess game, the process doing that, and after that I was just moving to this one. I was just streaming, modeling a few things, and then I was the level designing, and then most of the blueprints, and after that all the level design, lighting, user interface, the audio, and yeah, I was right now I'm streaming most of the things all the time. So I just try to avoid, for example, this C++ code, because it's just so boring watching someone on Visual Studio for 1 hour, black screen, you know. But the rest of the things are fine. I'm just streaming everything, so you can see. With some people that are maybe not believing that I'm doing things like that, you can. I can pass you, because I have all my videos on YouTube, so you can check videos there, and you can see most of the things that I was doing. Of course, if you believe, but some people that it's not possible to do everything, you can check everything that I was doing, and most of the things, I don't know, props I was doing a lot of them, houses, for example. I think this house I was doing completely full on streaming, so you can see it from the box I was starting. Yeah, it's fine. Of course, I'm interested on people that they are doing also another projects to see how are they doing, and yeah, because there are no all the project could be, I'm just saying, you need some interaction, you need also this inventory, you need, for example, some kind of missions, and then maybe a skill tree and things like that, because I'm not planning to do something really impressive, something new. It's just copying from here, copying to there, and then putting all together to make my game. But in the end, it's just part of them, part of another one, and that's all. So I'm not really creating something completely new. But the thing is, all the games are a bit different for some reason, and you need some requirement, but another one needs something specific to be something different, and so on. So yeah, it's that, like the thing, like they're a bit different, and you need to find a solution for this small little problem, because in the end all of them have the same mechanics or things like that. This is fine, but all of them need to be adjusted for some reason. For example, I have this full day night time, and the time is going faster as you are, for example, sitting, sleeping, working, and so on. So for example, all the tasks that you have in Unreal Engine with this delay, or just using the timer, this kind of calling timer by event or function, is not working for me, because the time can be faster. So I say, okay, after 5 seconds execute this function, then there's those 5 seconds, if the time is going faster, it could be 5 hours. So for example, the plans for the NPCs is not working, you know. Hello everyone, привет, how's it going? I was trying to stream. I was streaming already this morning, but the problem was I was a bit busy, and I was kind of too late, so I was just streaming maybe for 1 hour or even less. I didn't have much time this morning, so I was streaming again during the afternoon, and probably tomorrow, because during Sundays also I'm trying to do a few things, so I'm also streaming during afternoons, evenings. Well, I don't know about your time zone, but I mean, for me now it's really late on Saturday, so yeah, I'm doing mornings, which is kind of 12 hours before right now. That's an idea about your time. And tomorrow I will do probably at the same time like now, in the afternoon, evening, because it's Sunday. After that, on Monday I will be again in the morning as usual, just to be. So yeah, interesting to see other projects, because there is always something that is not exactly the same, and you need some requirement for, I don't know, some reason that you have something specific in your game, and then, well, you need to solve this problem. Even in the end, you have the same mechanics, all of them. For example, this one, like trading, selling, buying, things like that, you know, probably eating, sleeping, drinking, all those things that, well, all the games have. You should try to do something longer for more time or things like that, you know. Okay, good luck, we will talk later. Well, not exactly. I mean, I have part of the story already in my head. I was just writing a few things on papers, notes, and things like that, but I didn't start yet in the game. I mean, there is nothing in the game for the real story to have this one. So the answer is not. But I have already. In fact, the first thing that I have is the story, and then I was starting thinking about this game, and then doing a game, and then modeling and everything like that. So the story, more or less, of course, with not all the final details, but the story was the first idea I had in my mind, and then I was just wanting to do a game of this story. But I didn't start yet, because I would like to have all the mechanics, all the things in place, then start doing. But for example, when I'm doing the missions or notification for missions, things like that, I have in mind all the time things that could be, for example, markets. You are just selling or buying, but I want to have some kind of a notification when I'm buying or selling, because in the story you need to know when you are buying or selling, for example. Or I need some notification when you are just harvesting some crops, because this is kind of a way for progressing in the story, with, for example, skill trees and things like that. So this is something that need to be there. Or for example, harvesting or farming is something kind of important for the story, because it's just the main action that you are doing probably. So the story is not here, but it's in mind all the time, and I was already taking care about a few things when I'm just doing some mechanics, having this story in mind. Or for example about the town, you have this town, because the first idea was just going to the castle, and I was just planning to do just story inside of the castle, that's all. One castle, everything is closed, so I don't need to do open world or things like that. But after that, the idea was initially starting from the town and not really from the castle, and then I was just trying to figure out how to change the story that you are finally in the castle. So in that case, I was just really losing a few things of the story, and say it's really cutting down a lot. So anyway, let's do a town and a few towns more, and after that you arrive to the castle and then continue the story, things like that. So that's why the story was changing what I was doing already. So I was just changing a few things, but the story in my mind, in my head, is already there. Well, it's not really huge. Smarty, look at this one. This is a small town. There is nothing more. I mean, it's completely closed. It's closed, so there's nothing here, nothing more. And this is kind of small, and I'm still missing here this church, but I don't have yet, because I need to model. I didn't find good reference at the moment, so the church I'm missing, and also you have some gameplay in this church, and I'm also missing at this side. Need to be maybe probably more space. I need here the manor house. I don't have yet, so this is also something that I need to have for the story, and a few areas for also cropping, harvesting and things like that. So there's like a few areas for quite typical be on this time, medieval time. So I have still missing a few things that I would like to have in this town for all the story, you know. Kind of what? I don't know what is this, sorry. Let me check this one. Well, the game is I have few roles to play. I'm not sure I was explaining you this one, probably not. So the idea is well, plazas were something a bit later, same as towns. For example, the cities were building a bit later, because this one is coming from 13th century, end of 1280, things like that. Oh well, it's not a lot of information there, but yeah, there are a few roles exactly. So there are 4 roles, but they are playing in the same scenario, so the same game, but you are playing with different roles, and you have different story, different mission to do. Exactly. So for example, for this one, this is only one that I'm doing, because let's do one and then we will talk later about the rest. Not trying to do all of them together, even to keep in mind, but not trying to do all of them. So this one is the peasant just self. Yeah, exactly. This, and that's the reason to be on streaming, because I can do all those models alone, you know, but I cannot share all those information with people. It's just interesting, and also a lot of people just giving me a few ideas or just proposals for things, and of course it's just improving everything. All the game is improving with feedback from people. So so you have 4 roles, and this one is the peasant self. So the main idea is just farming, learning about planting and things like that. But there is another one, this is a monk, so your mission is completely different. You will be in the same town, same things, but for example, in that case you have more things to do in the church, and then you are just a peasant, you don't have much to do in the in the church. But it's also, for example, an abbey where the monk need to be there for some time and do a few things more. But this peasant is almost even not going there, so there's no reason to be there, for example. So the another role is blacksmith. So you have a space for example, crafting or doing a lot of things for blacksmith that probably the monk is not even using at all. You know, even being in the same town, for example, the same city, you will have different things to do, and some of them is more focused on some actions or going some paths. Another one is more focused on other things, and there are even some areas that for some roles they are not being in use at all, or you cannot go inside. This is also one of the reasons that they want to have some areas are restricted per role. So this is just giving you the option, or you want to play, you know, as another role to arrive, or just to go inside to some place that you had not been before with another role probably. But the idea is the same towns, because a few of them, and the same castles and everything like that. It's the same for all of them, same area, but you have completely different role, different missions, and of course different dialogue, things like that. But I mean, the same people, the same assets, or everything are being reused to have a different stories for all of them, you know. So that's the idea. So in that case, I'm doing this first town. This is initial town, which is really small, not much, but this is realistic. I mean, this is everything from my head, so I was just putting all the houses, grass, painting, things like that is from my head. But this is as a reference that I was using Birmingham from 1300 year. So real one. It's of course not exactly the same, and mine is really much smaller, but I mean, I was using real information from this time to do, or to see how the towns are being done, where the places are being organizing, and I was doing exactly the same to be kind of realistic as it was, you know, because usually you can see some games or even movies that you can see this palace with, I don't know, 200 meters square for one room without even columns, you know, which is fine, but it's not realistic at all. So that's why I was just checking for reference about the houses, the size of the houses, how many rooms, windows, things like that, or for example which kind of things like the bakehouse, watermill, things like that. I was just adding because they have been there in the towns. In fact, it's true that they were there. Or for example, these kind of houses that are much bigger, but they have also houses like that for merchants, that they have more money, so they have bigger houses like that, you know. But for peasants, they have only just such houses with nothing more. And you can see, for example, for this one, this is a real one, they have only one room where they are sleeping, and they have in the middle, I'm just missing the fire in the middle, and they have almost nothing, and then a small room here for just storing, but they don't have in this wall. So this is something like a real with one window here and nothing more here, so there are no windows at all here, which is true. They were just doing that. And for example, there are some of them using this space for your animals, you know, cows and things like that. So they are using part of the house like this, and they are all of them living together, so not really so big houses or not realistic. So this is real house, one single room, and nothing more. And for example, all those decals, because the houses were really dirty, because it's just, you know, mud, and then it's just being did quite easy. For example, it's raining, you have all of them, so I was just trying to do everything was dead at this moment. So that's just trying to do something realistic, and the idea is having a few towns and you walking between them, and then you go also to the castle. I have a few things already did of the castle, but I'm not focused on it because it's as far from my story, so I'm just trying to do the first steps, and then I will arrive there and continue just modeling there a few things that I need to have. And thinking about traveling between towns, probably I will do kind of teleport transport or things like that, instead of just having kilometers and kilometers of just forest with nothing, that you are just walking, and maybe you need like a horse or things like that. So in just putting some point to teleport to another town, and if this town is a bit far, you need to take, for example, 3 hours or 8 hours. In case that you want to have or use a horse, you need to pay some money, and it will take only maybe 2 or 3 hours. In fact, in the game it takes 5 seconds to just jump in there and load in the another town, that's all. But I mean, it's just passing 3 or 5 hours in game, so you are spending this time during the game, so you probably want to do that. I didn't check about this. I need to check about that. But the idea from my side is not doing a lot of space without gameplay. I mean, I'm only modeling things that you have gameplay, all houses that have gameplay, and areas where you have gameplay. This is just completely empty. I don't want to have hundreds of kilometers of forest with nothing, you know, just walking, or just the path trails in kilometers. In that case, I need a horse because it's so far. And then what's the reason? Just pressing forward for 5 minutes just to go to another place. So it's just okay, porting, teleport, and then jump into another place, and that's all. So that's why I'm doing this town. Everything is closed, and in case you want to go far to some place, you go there and then say, do you want to jump to another town, because this is the way to the town, you know, if you want to go there or go to another one. Well, things like that, but for example, I'm not providing any map because you don't really need the map. You don't need to go some places or things like that. So it's just okay, this is one town. In case that you need something, for example, talking with someone that say you need to go to another city or another town, something like that, you go on the way because you have here a path. Let's say, for example, it's going on this path. You know, when you arrive here or you cross this wall, you know, the bridge, cross here, and you have some area here. You go there and say, do you want to go to the town that is going on this way? Yes or no? If you are yes, then you appear already spawning in the new town, and then you go something like that. In front you have the town. You don't know, okay, go back, and that's all. So I don't need to put here after that 4 kilometers or 5 kilometers of nothing, just walking to right to the next town, you know. But I don't think that I will just block things to go. I mean, you can go to any place because it's kind of open world, but of course it's reduced, you know. It's something small, but it's kind of open world because you start here and you can go walking wherever you want, you know, like go left, right, walking, houses, people, you can do everything that you want, but yeah, makes no sense. Just walk along with you have something to do, or you want to, you know, play or have some gameplay or do things or progress in your story. But just walking around, you can do that as much as you want. So it's not limiting with I don't know, invisible proxies or things like that, you know. So it's just freedom, walk as you want, no stress, you know, do as you want. It takes 1 minute or 1 day or as long as you want. After you start talking with people, you want to walk around. When you start talking with people, you follow your story, you know. If they say you need to buy some tools, okay, you want to walk and not buy anything yet, okay, do that, it's fine. It's just not any progress in the game, but it's not stressful, or you are dying, or people is killing you or things like that. Do you want to go to another town? Go there. Not problem, but probably if you didn't do something that you need to do in this town, there is not ready to, I don't know, people talking with you or things like that, you know. So from my side, I'm not restricting, like you say, if you find something to discover some area and then you can go to another one later or things like that. So all the areas are already discovered. I mean, you have this the path, go here and then asking for the next town. If you go to the another path that is, for example, this direction, let's say you go here, go this path, and probably exactly the same. So you are right here, this area, and after that you cross and say, do you want to go to another town, yes or no? And that's all, you know. If they say yes I want, jumping, unload this city and then load the new town, and you appear there, and that's all. And you continue to do your story or things like that, or buying, selling, things like that. So and there's no map at the moment because I'm not planning to do 100 cities or things like that, you know. There's a few of them because I need to have some variation. That I don't want to do everything in the same city because it's not realistic. For example, like you need to buy a few things, makes no sense that really small town have everything that you need, you know. It's like being realistic, you probably need to go to another place, another city, talking with another people, and then, you know, buying, selling things more than just small houses here, like 8 houses and you have everything that you know. or you need, this is not possible. So just to keep some story, you need to have few towns, different places, and also it, as I say, it has some cost. So I mean, if you are just going to another town, it costs you maybe money or time, you know. So of course you can go there when you want, but it takes one day or half a day, so you are losing your time. So go there when you have a real plan set to do there, or you are ready, or you really need to do that. Just to go there, coming, going, coming, you know, this is probably nothing. And you are maybe spending, you are tired or just being hungry or things like that, and then yeah, makes no sense just walking. What I try to keep is no stressful for the player, you know, like no stress. You are just playing, you know, it's not job or things like that. So no stress, do whatever you want. When you are ready, continue the story, but not before. Not like this is infinite runner or things like that. There's no time here. There's no time. I mean, do as long as you want. That's the same. You are do you think that you are ready to move, or then okay, do that. Not okay, walk. The thing is not finishing, and then it's just not passing so fast, anything like that. So, do you want to go to another town? Go there. Do you want to stay here? Stay here. There's not really forcing you to do things, or as you say, if I want to go there, you need first to do a few things before you can go there. No, not like that. You want to go there, go there. That's all. So no restriction for areas or things like that. For example, the houses are, all of them are closed. So initially they are closed because you cannot go there. Also because they have resources or things that you probably need in the future. So initially everything is closed, and when you are just progressing, you start having some houses open, or for example this bakehouse or the watermill, or places where you can just craft things that initially you cannot do that. Because in the end, of course, this is realistic, but this is a game. It needs to be not so boring, because real life is boring. I'm not planning to do exactly the same during the day that I'm doing my job or things like that. So need to be a bit faster or more interesting, things like that. But no restriction, or for example stress about time. Completely free, walk as you want. And I was just explaining also about the HUD on screen. This is playing, and this is the HUD. Nothing. You have this cross to see where you are pointing. This is really small one. I hope you can see this. And that's all. There is nothing. Just walk. You want to walk? Walk. Stop. Stop. Go to the left. Go to the left. That's all. There is no restriction, and there are no proxies at all at any place. You can walk any direction. Everything that you see is completely open. But of course it's small. There is no 100 kilometers, but that's all. No restriction. Sorry, what's the review picture? What's review? The picture that I have in the web, you mean? I think it's this one. Probably. I think this is the picture. Let me check. I was changing the picture. I was adding a few pictures this week. Yes, exactly. That's one. I was doing that. I was doing with Photoshop. I was just taking this detail from. I have a book that I was buying with ornaments for on the story. This is touching. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can just. If I can. Yeah, this one. I have this book that I was buying. Well, I was buying a long time ago, really. So you have a lot of ornaments there, and you have for the whole story, like many centuries, different styles and everything like that. Really interesting. I have a few things there from these medieval times, and I was just taking a few details like that, and I was just reusing for let me see if I can find this one. Wait. I'm trying to find this detail for things, or maybe I was just doing that. No, I don't think so. Yeah, this. Wait. So this is one of the. This one, I'm trying to open. Sorry, it's a bit slow. So they are really from this time. All of them are from, because you have the information about this is from Swiss charts, or this one is coming from France, or things like that. You have all the information in this book, so they are telling you which time and everything like that. So this one, as you can see here, probably I was using this one as was just of course checking on what, changing a bit the color and maybe detail or something, but this is the pattern that I was just using. And after that I was using also this blender modifying for clothing. What is north? I don't know what is this north. I can find not right now, but I can find this one to say on which play was this one, which year, and things like that, you know. Or for example this one also, probably this one I was using, and you see there's some of the details for that. No, this is not Viking one, because this is from probably France, England, things like that, because it's coming from Europe. This is not Vikings, and you can see it's a bit different. So I'm trying not to use, because it's easy to merge all of them, but Vikings were in some area, of course. At the same time, you have, for example, Middle Age also Islamic people, that they have hundreds of things to do also, and ornaments, books, and everything. But this is not from this area. So I'm trying to keep not only the time, but also the area for all the details. And it's so easy to find that I have seen a lot of time that people say like medieval or something like that, they are just Vikings. Of course, this is the same time, but this is a completely different area. But that's the thing, that is a completely different thing. But yeah, but about the time. And I was also using this one. This is another just reference, but that's the one that I'm using here. As you can see, this is here. So this is the another reference that I was using. Of course, I was just modifying, and then I was modifying with Photoshop, and I was using this Blender cloth modifier, and adding of course some details for the normal map. So also different time of the day, because since completely the opposite one. Yeah. And then dirty, and then normal map that I was also working on it to have this one, and finally I was just posting over the model. And this is exactly the same for this one. I was also taking a few details. For example, this one is really easy to see. What is this? This one. So I was just taking the patterns and then just changing the colors, you know. So this is the pattern, and this is the one that I was using here. And probably about the square. I don't remember which one. So there is something like that I was using for almost the same model but different colors. And I have also, this is the same one. Here I have also some patterns, all but a different cloth, you know, also dirt and things like that. I think you are not so old. 800 years, things like that. And for example, this one also, those are also, yeah, I was just putting all together a few different things like that, but I can just show you the clothes for that, which is If I can find it, probably that. No, not this one. Yeah, I think that some of them are still being in use, and also you can see some stylized things that are really nice, and they are not so far from, for example, Art Nouveau. You have a few things that could be more or less like that. This one, for example, I was just checking right now this one, and Art Nouveau is not so far, and of course not so far on story, and you have a few things already that you can see. For example, in Riga, North Europe, you have this is the kind of capital of Art Nouveau, and you have a lot of Art Nouveau already on streets, and you can see buildings and, for example, some markets, or you have also shops that they have some decoration about the glasses or windows, things like that, Art Nouveau. And this one is really quite far, quite typical, could be, or yeah, since a lot being Art Nouveau. I'm just trying to find where is this picture, because I cannot find right now the one for that. I cannot find this. I think this one is the red one. No, there's another pattern. Probably this one. Yeah, for example, this one. This is the one that I was using. Yeah, this is the pattern, but I was using here. I was just changing the color, of course, and I was also adding this on the bottom with different patterns. Of course, it's not exactly the same, but I mean, I was just working on it, but it's coming from a real one. So that's keeping all together fine, and since all of them kind of medieval, because they are really medieval. Even I just changing all the colors, something like that is fine, of course. Very nicer, but all of them are coming from, for example, this one is another one I was using here, as you can see, and the rest I was just painting manually probably. But yeah, you can see all the patterns here. I was just changing the color, Photoshop, things like that for them. And I was just trying to find another one, this pattern, but I cannot find right now the picture for that. Probably is here. Exactly here. Okay, so that's the picture from this book, and I was just, of course, changing the colors and things like that, putting some dirt, and then using this in the button, and the clothes that seems like falling down clothes, things like that. But yeah, I'm using real pattern from this time. Well, yeah, could be something completely different, but from this book, what I say is, of course, it's trusting, which is something good, and they put there, this pattern was found on clothes for such year, for some place, or this is something from the cathedral, or this one had been found in some, I don't know, buildings on such city. So they're like real reference for things like that at the right time. Of course, there are things like probably, I don't know, this one I was just talking, that this is so simple pattern that of course you can find hundreds of places with this more or less almost the same, because these are not really so complex. And then, or for example, I have a lot of them, a lot of patterns like that you have, for example, from charts or things that are really simple, so you can find them hundreds of times in any other places, you know. That's true. Or for example, this one, this just kind of keeping the same patterns for this time, but they are not really complex at all, so you can find them, hundreds of them at any place. And I was also using some of them for let me see if I can find such pictures, if I have them. I cannot find them right now because I don't have those pictures on my my website for. I was also using for this chest. I was also using a few of them for doing, but this is not here. Let me see. No, I don't have those pictures. I don't know where they have them. But I was also using for other things the same patterns that you can use or reuse for many things. So there are real ones coming from this time. Of course, I was just changing a lot of things and patterns and then doing dirty and things like that. So yeah. And this one will be the picture. Let me see. This opening and then open this texture sample. Hello. Okay. Okay, that's the pattern. Of course, that's the model is just changing all the clothes, but this is just what I did on Photoshop is this one. You know, just keeping this pattern, so it's easy to find this. I think this one. What is this? Yeah, this is much simple. So this is the pattern that I was using. So they are real medieval time, all of them. Okay, no problem. So that's the all the models for that you can see around there, all of them based on something medieval, real medieval for some reference. Let's close a few things. I have hundreds of things open. Also, I have lost my the chat. I have duplicate chat here. I don't know. I'm just trying to close things because my RAM is a bit high. Sorry. Okay. Hope it's a bit better. So any of you in the chat, do you want to say something more detail about things, or even about coding or blueprints you want to know, or any other system that I was just doing, not only about modeling probably, or some performance, I don't know, any other idea you have, missions, inventory, things like that, you want to see something, or even shaders, just let me know if you have any question. If I can just help you, just showing you what I did or how I solved some of the problems. Oops, I can see here this one is bad. Look at the wheel. The UV is just changing from the pattern of the wood. So in that case, you can see that this is just popping. You can see, or probably it's just because I'm reducing this one with a lot. Probably, yeah. This is another thing. Let me see. So if we are just changing the load one, yeah, exactly. Hammer 2 is just removing this one, so that's why it's kind of popping for that. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine then. I could just change the distance for that, but this is fine. In that case, it's just because I'm in front, and also the sun is in front, and then it's easy to see this one, but the rest is not. You cannot notice that it's just changing between them. It's just like that. And what about the opposite side? Here you cannot even see this one. Not possible. And I think there's also here this one. Let me see. Exactly the same problem. Chick. Okay. I'm stay here. Got the same problem here. Right? It's fine. So it's the same as football, soccer. The good referee is the one that you cannot notice, you know. So there's the same, like if you don't see nothing that is really not in place, means everything is fine. So it's just putting all together means you cannot see something bigger, smaller, different. For example, this kind of from Vikings or different time of story means all of them are more or less together fine. And also I was using for kind of not style but the color for all of them. I'm using most of the time the same texture, repeating all of them, so you have the same color, for example, for this one and this one, that one. Well, there are two different good. This one is one and that darker is the another one, so I'm just reusing. For example, this is this one and that is that one. For example, here you have also that. This is the darker one, this is darker, this is the this is one, and this is another one, and I'm reusing all of them all the time, so all together looks fine, you know, because it's almost the same color, the same style, and things like that. Well, I'm not really taking much care about this. Coming from Spain, as you know, it's football is not just sport, it's religion, you know. But yeah, I'm doing games this time, not spending too much time on it. Or here, for example, it's also the same texture. All of them are the same texture. So the overall is having, I must say, like yeah, it's crazy, especially with this World Championship time, things like that. But yeah, probably because also in Greece and also in Spain they don't have any other problem, you know, so they need to be worried about something and they are worried about football. But this is coming from Rome already, you know, it's exactly the same. The circus, they have a lot of problems, so the government give us circus, and then people is just happy, and then they are not thinking about problems. So yeah, so football, soccer is perfect for countries as we have with much more important problems. I will paint something, I don't know. What could we do? We're just thinking about what to do now. Yeah, it's really stupid. It's really stupid. I can understand that they are paying so much money for players because of course it's kind of entertainment. This is fine, so they receive money, the same like singing or things like that, so it's fine, they pay a lot of money, this is fine. But just killing people, just discussing, you know, it's just really so far. I can understand that. Why? It's just sport, you know, they're playing. Even I could even understand if you are playing or you are really losing something, you know, but if you are losing your job, things like that. But just no other reason. So this one single here. Sometimes it's too small that you cannot even see. Let's paint another one. This. And now we will paint this one, which is just going through across the this one. I don't like much, to be honest. Delete and delete. And I will add to the trail here. I want to put here in the trail. And also we can add them close to those stones. Okay, let's see. Without that, oops, no. What I want is different time of the day. What about this? In fact, I think I will remove this one. What is this one doing? Maybe it was something that was planning in the past. I have path here. Okay. Yeah, I will just put here on the left. Also, let's. At the moment, I will keep the bench. At the moment. I think I was just planning to have this guy here. For the demo, the guy is just coming both ways, so you can talk with this guy, and I was just removing and then putting there the town. So probably that's why I was just living here. I think it's enough. A few of them. Nah, enough. In fact, this is too much, I think, already. Not single instant. Oops. Why? Landscape foliage BSB, I need this one. Why it's just selecting? No. I have been already working on having women also. and I have some of them, but I have all the walking, and I need also the animation for probably running and also sitting down that I don't have yet. But of course I will have men and women, and also planning that you can choose which one you want to play. So right now there's a guy, but you can play as a woman. Well, could be not exactly the same, because at this time women were doing much less things that men, or doing completely different things. They were working, of course, a lot on the farms and things like that. But just to avoid having some limitation about that, you can choose between men and women which player you want to have, and the story is exactly the same. I'm not planning to change if being so realistic like in this time, because people is playing right now. So the story is exactly the same, but you can choose between different players, and you can choose. In fact, I'm planning, because all of them are working, have the same animation, and you can just change to any NPC. So I will just provide that you can choose which one from all the NPCs that I have, men and women, and the one that you are choosing as a player, you are playing this one, and I will remove this one from the NPC, so you can now find yourself, let's say, on the NPCs, and then we will just change to another one. So let's say that I have 10 NPCs, and I will provide 11 models, so you choose one, and the rest is just all the NPCs. So you can choose which player you want to have, and it could be man or woman, and that's all. And I just changed them because all of them use the same animation blueprint, so because it's much easier and easy to manage and things like that. So, and also I have, for example, for the NPCs, let me show you here, blueprints, NPCs, you have like two different things. So this is baker, and this is baker helper, and this is farmer, and this is farmer helper, and things like that. Because I have, this is a mess, this is just a pound that you can use for example, the navigation, or anything like a normal pound for animation, blueprints, and things like that. Collision capsule, and this one is another blueprint which is associated to this one. So here you have all the logic for this NPC. So I just come, let's say, connect this one to this one or another one, so the logic is not connected to the NPC in that case. So I can just use any NPC model mesh with any animation, and just connect this logic for this one. So I can just put any model on any of them, and probably I will do in the future kind of random, so they are just completely different guys for having some logic, so it's not so easy to find all of them being exactly the same. At the moment I don't have enough, so I'm just repeating them because I have only 3 models, and even some of them are the same as player. But in the future I will not have any NPC repeated. I mean, the logic is completely different, and the only thing is just creating a new mesh for any of them. As I said, you can choose any of them and play like this one, and then this NPC is not appearing in the game again. That's the thing. So what I was just doing, I forgot completely. I was just painting this one. I wanted to remove this one, but why I cannot select? Is this one selected? Yes, it is. Foliage. What? Why? This is. Okay, let's take one. Also, no, I cannot select this one. This select all. Select invalid. Nothing. For some reason I cannot select this one, because I just wanted to remove a few of them here. It's too much. But yeah, this is you can select this one, but not. I don't know. I need more vegetation, and also I need a few more variations. I was just planning today to do also something with white or yellow, and then I need something different from the river, and some bushes and different trees and things like that. But yeah, from time to time I'm just doing a few things and then just painting, adding new things. For example, here I was just painting exactly the blue ones. For example, a few here, blue ones, not much. You can see, oh, this is right, but I see a lot of holes here for grass. I don't know why. For reasons. Paint. What is happening painting? Why I cannot paint single mode. 64. Yeah, there's something I'm not really sure. The density is fine, but sometimes seems like completely empty area for some reason, and seems not so nice. Here, for example, you can see I'm not really doing completely dense, but just sometimes seems to me to be empty. So in case I am walking, this is not a big problem because you have no gameplay at all here, so it's not really that. Well, you could walk here if you want, but yeah, it's just empty space for that. So yeah, here things like that. Well, in this area, this is forest, so it's here. Yes, you can just walk and find resource here. So this area is gameplay, but the other areas are already too far from the gameplay area, so there's no reason to be here. But here, for example, it is stone for free. Yeah, there are some resources here you can find. You're just walking. More stone. Should have also wood if I can find something. More stone. This is much easier to see. Well, here you see wood that you can pick up, and more stones. There are a few resources. So let's see walking this one. Since I don't know, maybe it's too much. That's fine. It seems to me that maybe it's a lot of them. It's not about performance, it's probably so small, nothing. But I mean, maybe a lot of them. I want to see about the complexity. They're just green, completely green. There's no small problem here repainting pixels, but it's just green, so there's no problem with that. What about them? Nothing. I can see well the shaders will be more complex because it's having also this vertex paint and also having variation between them, and also the wind. So, and then it's two-side foliage, things like that. But that's not a problem. But yeah, that's the game. This is how it works. Seems to me that the button is also moving and shouldn't be, and I was using already vertex paint, but seems not working very well. I don't know why. Okay. And this is also having, as you can see, it's just, look at this, it's just disappearing because it's load 0 and load 1, and the problem is about the cluster that have the distance, something like that. Hola! Is it fine for you? Because for me it's a bit late. Or are you leaving? What do you mean? Oops, yeah, it's too much. And it's having the same problem here. For they appear and then no. The main problem is about, because the distance is fine, but the problem is about the cluster. The cluster is so big and then it's taking care of the size of the cluster, so it's really being a problem for clustering. But I can let me see this one. Because as you see, for example, one. Seems fine. Well, I could do even more, 0.5, just to have even longer distance, which seems more or less fine. You can also see the shadow, but I'm not using shadows there. So here, let me see if this one is improving. Because the thing is, if I'm increasing even more the distance, they're just disappearing because the cool distance is even more. The problem here is they are completely out of the side, because for example here you can see playing something in the middle, it is fine, they disappear and you cannot see that because they're just inside of the grass. So here is not a problem for all of them. All this, as you can see, could be fine even being almost there to see the rest of them. But in that case they are completely outside of the grass. In that case it is just appearing, disappearing, as you can see. So I was just planning to have probably a bit more of or just grass in the middle. I think I will add some grass and that's all. Yeah, exactly. I will just put some grass. This is too much. What's happening here? Stop. Something like that could be. This is too much also. Just having something here and something here is enough, because you are working on the things like that. This is fine because you are working on the way, and then this is just stopping you to see this one. So, and there is no way to say that probably here, but even like that, it's just disappearing. And since that they are just in the middle of the grass, so this is fine, just both of them. And the rest probably have the same problem here. They are just appearing a bit late. Let's play since appearing late. Especially this one. The rest seems fine, but not this. All of them are disappearing, but yeah, it's fine. It's a bit dark, a bit far. So this is fine. They disappear. Then the grass is coming, and then you can see this one. Yeah, should be something like that. And being alone is not a good idea. So let's paint a bit single instant here. things like that. I think that's all. And also I think look a bit nicer. So now you don't have this problem. And in case that you are just leaving a bit closer. Yeah, they have vertex painting, but for some reason seems to me that it's not working. I will check right now because I'm not really, I don't like this. Seems to me that it's just moving. Look at this. Seems to me that this is also moving, and I was just painting this one to not moving. So that's why I'm checking right now. I'm not sure about this. Let me see. I don't need this. Let me check in a second, because seems to me that it's not working this, but it's paying. But I think that I did already. Okay. So not this one, that one. Yeah, exactly. This is black, so this one should be not moving at all, but it is moving for some reason, and the rest is just white. This is fine. I think it will paint a bit like that, but then I'll probably also this one. Let me see how it's going. But this is strange. So I was just thinking that exactly I was just doing that, but not working. So re-import. What's the problem is? This is moving and should be not moving at all, and my shader here is vertex color already. The wind is multiplied by vertex color, and then in that case just lerp and things like that. So exactly this is being used, and then it's going to work with system offset. So my shader is fine because it's working with others, but for some reason this one is not working at all, and I don't understand why. Should be not moving at all, this one, and also there are a few of them here that is not also moving. Let me just try to do something completely bad. Going to see again. If it is really taking care about this or not. I mean, I will just paint a lot of parts to see what is happening there, moving or not, or just it's just ignoring me about this. Okay, so everything is black here, but not the rest. So again, it seems to me that it's just ignoring it. No, it's just vertex paint. Can you see? It's just ignoring me. I'm just re-import, and it's just ignoring this vertex paint. What I'm doing is just vertex paint, and then on my shader, what I'm doing is just taking care about this world position, but only being with a lerp with this grass windows wind. But it's using lerp for vertex color, so that's why it should be taking care about this. And when it's black, as you can see, this is black, so it should be this one, which is 0. Here you can see this 0, which is here. But if it's 1, which is just painting white, should be taking this wind. So that's the thing that what is black should be not moving at all, but what is white should be moving with the wind. So that's what I'm doing to fix some points from this wind from the shader, but since completely ignoring what I'm doing, and then I'm not sure what to put this. Yeah, that's why re-importing, and then I will just do that just in case. This is mine, but for some reason it's not working, but the shader is fine because I'm using the same shader for a few other places. But this is just completely moving everything. I think that I will just, I don't know, restart the editor probably, or things like that, because I don't know what the reason is. And also I cannot select some of the vegetations, so probably there is a problem with the editor for some reason. I don't know, but should be work, because it's so simple. As you see, it's just painting and then that's all. There is not really complex thing. Let's just restart this one. Because also the RAM is a bit high and should be this one key. And I will just paint back this one in the meantime, because vertex paint. So what is white is being affected by this wind, what is black is not affected at all, so should be, but it's being ignored completely. So I really don't know exactly where the problem is, but it's ignored. Even I was just changing something just to see how it works, and it was being ignored. Probably it's just about the editor. I need to restart or something, and it is taking really long, so I have no RAM, and also the hard drive is just working, so seems that there is something there not being well. Also it was open for long really, so still there. But yeah, sometimes things happens like that. Just restart the editor and everything was working as expected. For example, I have the doors, and sometimes it's just opening to the left or right or things like that. Restart the editor and everything's fine. Okay, see you. Good night. Have a rest. I will just restart the editor to see if it is working. If it is not, probably I will just leave because it's also late. And that's just trying this last thing, and that's all. Meanwhile, thank you for coming. Hope to see you next time. Thank you for the hosting. I hope that people find interesting also. Let's see here. What is this? You mean the name of the game? Well, I was just trying to find a few names from just towns from Scotland, something from old towns. I was just checking a few combinations with the numbers, names and things like that, and I was just trying to find something that is not a real name, because in that case you can find some places, or you can find even some information about Wikipedia or films or cities, things like that. So it's not good to have something that is already another thing, because I was thinking about medieval lives, or I don't know, everything about castles, medievals and everything like that, 100 or variation for things. So I couldn't find any something that is fine, and this is just a sentence and things like that. I was just thinking about, okay, I will think about the names of the towns, and I will choose the name of the game for the name of the first town that where you start playing. So this is kind of the name of the town, and after that you will go to another places and, you know, playing different towns. But this is the first one, and this is the name of this first one. So but the name is, I was just checking, that is nothing on internet. You try this one, this is a word that was completely nothing from internet, you cannot find anything, and right now you can find, of course, this Twitter that I have, the website, and a few things more, but was nothing there. So, and now you have all those things that is coming. If you are trying to find this word on internet, it's just my Twitter, my site, and that's all. So that's good, but they are not just messing or thinking that is another thing or another problem for that. So this is good to have some word that means nothing, only your game, and so I don't think it's really easy to remember. That's true, but after some time it's just fine, and I think you can read well in any language, or it's nothing strange or different symbols that you know how to read this one. And about the logo that I was doing, I mean the text that I'm doing, I was doing manually from a text of this time. Let me see if I can show you also if I have here the reference. Not this one. Wait. Resource. Where do I have this one? Okay, this one. The font, you mean? Probably not, because I was doing manually. In Photoshop some vector from this text, which is Santa Barbara people from 1250. So this is a text, this is a real text, and this is something in USA, I think. This text, okay, this is text, and I was just taking one by one. So let's say the D, M, O, A. I was taking something that is nice, and I was just creating manually from this one, from this text. So in the end, the one that you have here is you can see here bigger. It's coming from this text, and every single letter is just coming from this text. So this is real text that was written in this year, you know. So that's the real one, how they write, and then I was of course doing a bit nicer and then putting all together, some mistakes here, things like that. But you can see that all of them are coming from this text. If you find them, you can find, for example, this M, N, or H, or any of them. So all of them I was just taking. The only one that I was just kind of inventing was this D, but it's coming from another text. I don't remember where it was, but also the same, just a text from some place. And I was also using this one. This is coming from the book, some of the things. I was just putting all together on vector on Photoshop, and I was just putting some texture, shadows, things like that. Just the same, doing nothing nicer. And also the background was exactly the same. This one I was just painting, which is easy to do that. But I mean, all of them are real reference from this year, which book, which place, and things like that. So they're real one. I don't need to think about this because the story was already written, you know. It's not trying to create something new for the future. It's just everything was done. Just take this one and then not reuse, but do something nicer, of course. So let's check again this one, if this is something fixed or not. Since not, it's just ignoring me. Probably it's about, I don't know, about the loads, or what the problem is. I really don't know, but it's not working. I mean, should be working, but this is not for some reason. Re-import. It's not working, and I can see that, for example, I was using exactly the same for this one. In that case, I think it's more or less this is working. This one is not moving much. Okay, I don't know. And another one that I was using is this one. I was doing exactly the same. This is also moving. Well, anyway, should be just taking this vertex paint for the wind, and then ignoring or not this one that is coming. But for some reason it's not working. Is it something about my shader? I don't think so. This is the wind, and this is lerp, and this is vertex color. I think I could even multiply because I have only 0.1. Let's try this small change. I hope it's not taking so long because it's being used in a few places, and then probably need to just compile 1000 shaders variations, something like that. What 100, not much. The problem is my computer is very slow, so really compiling this one, it will be just my computer 100% the CPU, and it is really slow. Okay, let me see again if this one is just fixing the problem. It is not. For some reason it is not. Well, it's just quite simple. I mean, I have a few vertices and then just painting black and white, and that's all. So it should work. It should work, but it's not working. Of course, it's not critical and it's not the end of the world, and the game is working fine, but should be working. For some reason having this wind is also I don't know, should be working about this vertex paint color that I really don't know. Or this is the color. This is not about the alpha, or is it needed here, but the alpha is not about this? I really don't know what the problem is. It's so simple because I have only black and white and a few vertices, and that's all. I am not trying to merge, for example, blending material or things like that. It's just multiplying, and that's all. But yeah, it's something strange. I don't know. Let's check again. Nothing. Really don't know. Because it could be nice just moving this area north from the base, you know, but okay, wait, I will keep this because I would like to have this one. Really don't know. Just delete this one. I don't know. Anyway, I think just finishing here because it's a bit late. It's quite late here, and I have been streaming for more than 3 hours already. So I hope you enjoyed the streaming. Hope to see you again next time. If you have any idea or something, just let me know. If any of you didn't try the demo, if you want to try this, just join Discord and I will just create an account for you there for downloading this streaming. Yeah, at the same time it's quite late already, so you can just try this one. You can play around and see if its performance is fine, if you like what is already there, and you have any ideas, things like that. So if you want to try it, just let me know, and I can create an account for you because I want to have a closed demo and not just putting on my website and everybody is downloading. So there's people that is just following these streamings, for example, development. They understand it's just something in the middle that they can finish it, so they can try this one, what I did so far. But the people just coming here thinking that this is just almost beta or the game is almost done is not the same. So I don't want that. I don't want that these people is just trying and then thinking that it's almost done. So that's why I'm just doing closed demo. So anyway, thank you for coming. Good night or good morning for people waking up in USA, I think. And I hope to see you, all of you, next time. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.